Hi all! Everything in my video is pulled from the public domain and I am using them under the Fair Use Fair Dealings guidelines. Everything that I say is my own opinion. You should look into this information for yourselves, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Good morning, everybody. Well, we have two things that we're going to discuss today. Both have to do with positive PR. So, here we go. Typical that Harry and Meghan knew that they were probably going to get some bad coverage after they stepped away from their roles. So this had to have been in the planning for a while, but they held back the announcement, of course. They announced that the World Central Kitchen that they have teamed up with is going to create community relief centers in regions of the world prone to climate disasters, and that the construction on the first center in the Caribbean has already been completed. The building was built to be a safe shelter against future hurricanes, and it installed kitchen equipment that uses solar power to work. And they've also launched a culinary training program this year to equip chefs to prepare food for large numbers in an emergency. Now, they announced in December that they were teaming up with the World Central Kitchen. A little background, the World Central Kitchen is a non-for-profit, non-governmental organization that is devoted to providing meals in the wake of natural disasters, and it was founded in 2010 by celebrity chef Jose Andres. So this company has been going for 11 years and has already served over 400 plus cities and has already put $140 million back into local restaurants to keep people working, and that was before Harry and Meghan came along. And when you read the article, it says that they're going to help provide the funding to construct 4 community relief centers. The article also says that Harry and Meghan are going to, quote, engage additional partners to build more centers in regions around the world, which is another way of saying we want to get other people to give money to build these things. We don't want to fund it all. And then there was this part which really caught my attention. If you look above, the Sussex's previous experience in community recovery make Archewell the perfect fit. What experience does Meghan have in community recovery? Absolutely none. You know, the way the articles read, you would think that this company was doing poorly before the two of them came along. I mean, really, it's crazy how they're doing this big PR push going up to the Oprah interview. They can't just do the work and put it on their website for people that are interested. They have to make major announcements every single time. And of course, they're using titles to, royalty, which they didn't want to be part of, which quite frankly, I think just makes them look ridiculous and desperate. So in case you didn't catch it all together, they announced they were joining up with them in December, towards the end of December, and they've announced now towards the end of February that the building is complete, which means that the building was already under construction and the World Kitchen was already working on all of this, and Harry and Meghan basically piggybacked on to what they were doing with a donation, which of course we don't know how much it was. It could have been $20,000. This is no different than the announcement that was put out by this company about the roof that needed repair. Number one, it was set up by Sunshine Sachs. And interestingly enough, this woman who tweeted it said she's a political strategist. Interesting. Number two, apparently it's not the entire roof that needs replacing, and they have conditions that have to be met in order to get that money. No, don't misunderstand. I think it's fabulous that somebody's going to help them with the roof, but has anybody noticed that these two really don't give a lot of money to anything? They give a little bit here and a little bit here and a little bit here, and they put out announcement about how great they are. This lunch that they sent to about 30 workers probably cost them about, $300-400. The roof, I'm going to say about $10,000 to $12,000. The World Kitchen that they piggybacked onto, I'm going to say maybe $20,000. The point is, people, as they're drip feeding to you, look how wonderful they are. Look how fabulous they are. Look, they've joined another charity. Look, they've given more money. Notice that they never, ever, ever tell you how much they've given. Let's not forget that their Archewell Foundation keeps up to 95% of all donations to cover quote-unquote expenses. So if you give them $100 for this roof, only $5 is going to make it there. I would really, really like to think that people figured out what they're doing and have not been giving money to their foundation, which is why they're only able to give small amounts. Of course, the money they're giving is not theirs, And therefore, they're not announcing the amounts because they really want you to think that every time they donate, it's millions, when it's really not. So going back to the World Kitchen, I wonder how they feel when articles like this come out that says that the first project completely funded by Harry and Meghan's foundation opens up, when the truth is this building was under construction when they joined up with the World Kitchen. I mean, they're pushed to the back. Now, let's move on to James Corden. You know, I kept wondering why Meghan was the only one that was going to be talking to Oprah, and now we know why. Because remember the pictures of Harry on the double-decker bus with his friends James Corden? Well, James Corden basically gave him a venue to talk about his side of the story. First, he made sure that everybody knew Harry was royal at the very beginning. He talked about, how he met Meghan, and of course, they wheeled out Archie, get those clicks in there, and Archie's first word. And he said that the reason that he left was because of the British media, that it was destroying his mental health and that it was toxic. Personally, I think he had some mental health issues before all of that. He also said Archie's first word was crocodile when he previously told us it was mama. Harry talked about Netflix and how he likes to lay in bed eating, watching it, and how he's comfortable watching The Crown, and even mentioned that it's loosely based on reality. How do you like them apples? Personally, I think that was done because Netflix has lost a lot of viewership and he's trying to repair the damage. And of course, he had to FaceTime Meghan in because he can't be anywhere without Meghan. And she has her hair extensions in and her full face of makeup, even though it was a surprise FaceTime. And her acting really is so bad. Hey, Haz, how's it going? Yes, she wants you to believe that she and Harry are just like everybody else, and she calls her husband Haz. After all, Haz is short for has been. So let me just tell you what he said. He said, and I'm quoting, "My life is public service, so wherever I am in the world, it's going to be the same thing. As far as I'm concerned, whatever decisions are made on that side in Britain, I will never walk away." I mean, this arrogant little twat and his woke joke wife are no longer wanted. And does he not realize that public service doesn't involve lining your pockets with multi-million-dollar deals with companies that talk about your family and trash your family and spill family secrets, especially when your grandfather's laying in the hospital? Like, what is wrong with this guy? Harry talks about how the Queen sent them a waffle maker for Archie and how Meghan makes an organic mix in the morning. I mean, nice try at trying to paint this fabulous family life, but we all know it's not what it was. We have all learned while this was going on, you guys were planning a tell-all with Oprah without telling the royal family. And you were going to surprise attack them, but they got out. And you know what really makes this cringeworthy for me is that he talks about the Queen and Philip and how he's FaceTiming them and they sent Archie that waffle maker while the negotiations with Oprah were going on behind the scenes. I mean, talk about disloyalty. And there is some talk that Oprah would be very mad about this interview, but I think this was set up. I think Oprah knew it because, after all, Meghan's doing all the talking in the Oprah interview. I mean, listen, you got to give it to James Corden. In this little 17-minute spot, he pointed out his royalty, Netflix, his family. He reminded you of his military service. Like, he tried to cover it all in a very light-hearted, look at us, we're nobody on top of a bus way. But when I see this, I see somebody who's trying to help his friends, somebody who's already been on his podcast, somebody who's trying to help Harry with his image because it's sucking big time. And as for James Corden, I never watched his show before, but I'm absolutely now never going to watch his show or anything else that he's involved in. I mean, he's trying to help his friend, but he's damaging himself and he just doesn't even see it. Helping your multimillionaire friend play the victim card, for me, it just didn't go over well at all. And unless I'm mistaken, James Corden is British and he's helping his friend who disrespected his queen. Oh my God, makes me ill. So I'd like to say to Mr. Corden, who knew that Prince Philip was in the hospital and who knew how difficult things are for Elizabeth, the Queen, shame on you for airing that at this time. You could have held it back, but you didn't. And what that shows me is you're a big of a prick, as your friend has been Harry. And for people that are interested, while this was going on and Harry was yet playing the victim card yet again, The Queen was encouraging people to get their COVID-19 vaccine. She praised the national vaccine campaign. She did a video call. And as usual, she was fabulous. And one other bit of information that recently came out, you guys know Blind Item. I love them, and they're usually pretty spot on with their information. Well, according to Blind Item, Meghan had final edit approval on the interview. And she wanted the Oprah interview to come out first, and so she kept delaying, but eventually they just said to hell with it and they aired it anyway. What do you guys think of that bit of news? Knowing what a control freak she is, I have no trouble believing that. So what do you guys think about this man helping his personal friend to try to play the victim card once again while Philip lies in the hospital still? And what do you think about the fact that Harry and Meghan are taking full credit for the World Kitchens building that was just completed? Don't forget to leave your comments below. You can follow me on Twitter. You can email me. Everything's up in the box. Don't forget the coffee fund. And just one more little thing. I'm going to try to get this trending on Twitter. Since Meghan wants people to think she calls Harry has, let's trend hashtag Harry has been. Spread it. Let's get it going. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And as always, have a great day.